working harder. The faculty, parents also here. Oh, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from my neck piece, I have just come back from Semicon India and I have to rush back there in the next 15-20 minutes. But then as Bhavna has called me and I cannot refuse KCC, so I just dropped in to say a couple of words to you, because just earlier yesterday I was speaking the workforce development session to nearly 300 students at the venue, telling them as to what the India story was. So having said that, I'm not prepared. However, I will share a couple of my thoughts with you, which should get you through the orientation day, and possibly you can do what is to be done in the later time frame insofar as you are concerned. How many people who are in tech? Please raise your hands. All techies. A little more cogently, thoda upar. Okay. Down. How many non-tech and the better ones? Less. All right. Okay. Right. Let me start by telling you on your orientation day that you are very, very privileged to be the part of this India story at an inflection point where the curve is on the upward rise. So please understand that you are blessed, and B, you will make a difference. And I'm not telling you this for no rhyme or reason. I speak with a lot of people, including varied diaspora in India and abroad. And all I can tell you is that you are really privileged, that you are at this inflection point where you can make a difference. And the India story is on the rise. It is not on a plateau. It is on an absolute rise. So I will not get into the metrics of giving you that you are the fifth largest economy and you will come on to the third largest economy and you will do this and you will do that. No, they are all political statements. I will not get into too much of data, but I will tell you where you are and what you need to do, so that on orientation day you understand what the systems are and what exactly do you need to do. See, it has been in the last around 30-40 years, this entire story has been an era of disruption. Every time something comes up, something disrupts it. Politically, geopolitically, technologically, socially, economically, whichever way you want to look at it. You can look at all these things and you will understand that technology especially is not pervasive. With that, you also need to understand a couple of bigger things, since most of you are techies. Go back 15 to 20 years from today, all over the world, and see the periodic table. How many elements in the periodic table, anyone? 118? Alright. If you go and see the elements in the periodic table 15 to 20 years ago, you generally used in most of the engineering and most of the processes, you used around 30% of those periodic elements. Today, as we speak in 2024, you used 80%. So please understand that things have changed manifold. In various processes, the disruption has caused increased number of interactions as well as interventions insofar as technology is concerned. Having said that, you guys also need to understand that there have been eras in the past. There have been enough eras in the past. The first era was the machine era. Then after the machine era, you got into something called as the computer development era. Then you got into something called the transistor era. After the transistor era, you got into something called the integrated circuit era. Then you got into something like the smartphone era, which all of us carry. And without that, you feel that life has come to an end. And then you had something called the data center era, where you got into data centers and the BPOs mushroomed and all of that. We've all seen through that in so many times. So these eras had very, very simplistic timelines, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So these eras were very, very clearly demarcated, segmented, divided. Unfortunately, you people are now going on to a curve where there is an age of multi-era at the same time. It is not a singular era. So while these multiple eras are happening around you at the same time, your understanding of things cannot be in a very, very narrow band that I am doing computer science, so I should only know computer science. I am doing material science, so this is all I need to do. I need to get marks. My GPA should be this much, and I don't care what is happening around. If you do that, you will be doing a great disservice to yourself and this nation. So please understand, have a little multicultural, multi-segmented, multi-subject approach when you start your work here at the college. You've all come back from school where, all been into a particular system. You wore uniforms and went. Are you wearing uniforms now? So that is the basic reason. You're not in uniforms. Now there is a very major issue in the Indian education system when I speak with a lot of people. So a very, very distinguished director of a very, very distinguished management institute once told me, see, this guy is our alumni and that guy is our alumni and he's in Santa Clara and he's here and he's there. So I told him there is something which has set me thinking as to why we can create and propagate people like Sundar Pichais and Satya Nadellas, etc. Why is it that we cannot create Elon Musks, Bill Gates? Why not innovators? Why not people who make businesses? Why only managers? Please think about this. Why? Because we are risk averse. You are in this 21st century of India. Don't be risk averse. Take risks. And when you take risks, be alive to failure. Failures will happen. And if failures don't happen, there's a problem. It's very easy for me to stand here in some desk and speak this great English to tell you, oh, failures will happen, chinta mat karo and all of that. But let me tell you, there's a lot of gravitas in what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of people whom I see and interact with are very, very risk averse. They're very straightjacketed. They don't want to take a chance. Why? Because they say that this is comfort, this is good. But nothing ever grows in comfort. If you want to break the glass ceilings, especially the girls, please think big, take risks. That is my only advice to you. This education system that you have here, as you come here, has to be run and grow on top of you. You don't have to grow into this education system. Please understand this. This is a very, very important statement. If you understand this, a lot of things will be solved. Now, the other day, I was in a very, very known engineering institute, no names, because I don't want to take names unnecessarily. Very, very erudite faculty, very well known all over the world. And I was sitting with the dean and I asked him, I said, whatever you are teaching your children in terms of skills, whatever they are doing, whichever discipline of engineering they are doing, what do you think is the basic problem with all these guys? So, amongst the faculty, a lot of people gave me a lot of answers, A, B, C, D, whichever way it is. Most of you are millennials. You're a good lot. You've been born along with a mouse in your hand, along with the umbilical cord. That mouse came along with you. You form part of that era. But unfortunately, as we see now in the industry, there is a very, very major shift. So it's a vicious circle as we see. So there's a child, there's a girl or a boy who goes to school, and if there's anything to be changed, the school says that, look, this is what the board says, this is what this exact board is, whichever board it is. And look, I have issues of faculty, I have issues of this, that and the other, and this is all I can find, no problem. That child moves from the school to the college. The college says the child is not college ready. He has not learned A, B, C, D, E, F and starts picking holes in it. Whether it is an engineering college or whichever college. I'm not even naming that. Either way, the college where you go puts in a lot of money, effort, time, faculty, man hours, and gets that child ready into a mold which it is required as per the ethos and the basic curriculum of the organization. Fine, no problem. That girl or a boy goes into the industry. Now, the biggest bane of the industry is the industry says he or she is not industry ready. So he or she comes into the industry, and the industry, whichever it may be, it plows in a finite amount of money to train that boy or a girl. And lo and behold, after 2 or 3 years, that individual either moves abroad or moves somewhere else. So the circle which we see is never complete. Please complete this circle. I hope you're following what I'm saying. Yes, no? Yes, no? Wonderful. Then I'm good to go. That means you are following me. The second part that I want to tell you, which is away from all these, these issues which are systemic, is that you have to be a little disciplined. Now, maybe I come from a background in which that was a bedrock, or whichever way it may be. There are two things which will set you apart once you come into the industry. Your skill set or your stamp, whether you graduated from a particular place or B particular place or C particular place, will only give you that bigger window to enter. Whether it is this much or this much or this much, that doesn't matter. The degree is the same. What will set you apart are two things. One is your own personal discipline, and the second is how many soft skills do you have along with your hard skills. If I may say very clearly, when I hire people, I look at soft skills much more than hard skills to start. Because hard skills is a given. It's a given. You have got a degree. You have got a particular certification. You've got a particular skill set. Somebody has worked on you. You have graduated from a particular discipline. That is a given. But where are those soft skills? Those soft skills are very, very, very important if you have to be in the system and rise in the system also, at whichever level. So while you work on your hard skills that you are here in your college or institution, please also work on your soft skills. I will end only by one thing. A lot of people may say, that fine, this is the education system, we are not creating too many entrepreneurs, and while I just mentioned you take risks and do this and do that and what have you. All countries, if you look around you, whether it is China, whether it is Japan, whether it's the United States, whether there are some countries in Europe, etc., etc. Historically, they have ruled a large number of territories and geographies. Now, be that as it may, you yourself are a civilization which is possibly the best this world has ever got. Take pride in that civilization that you are from at all times. Do not berate your country ever in front of anybody. And the most important message that I need to tell you is, please start thinking like empires. The problem with most of you is you don't think big. All these countries where this innovation, where all of this English that you keep hearing, this change and disruption of technologies and all this which happens is because they think like empires. Unfortunately, wherever I go, I always tell the children that please do not be in a narrow bandwidth. Please think big. When you're thinking of building a building, it has to be grandiose. When you're thinking of making a project, put your heart and soul into it. If you're looking at X, strive for 8X, not 2X, not 3X. Till you start thinking like empires, till you start thinking big, till you change your entire DNA structure of thinking, I do not think your education is of going to be any help to you. And at the same time, when you've come to this institution to do a particular course, you have come here to garner knowledge. I am somehow not very, impressed nor aligned to the idea that, I saw somebody speaking with me yesterday only in Semicon. Sir, do you know that in so-and-so college, last year it was 100% placement, we have this time, sir, 34% have now got placed. It is splashed over the national news and all of that. My entire, argument to ask you is, have you come here to get employment? The whole idea is that you are here to get education. Now, beyond that, you cannot be looking at employment that as it is will come in whichever manner that you have to look at it. So what I will implore you, and along with you, your parents also, please get a little away from this thought. Get a little more aligned to what you have to do in a larger, bigger, grandiose design in the destiny of this country. You are the nation builders of tomorrow, and make no mistake, there is nobody else. And why you are at an inflection point is because you are right now at a stage where India enjoys the biggest demographic dividend in the world. Your median age is 28 years. China is some 47, Japan is in 60s. So till 2040, you're the youngest workforce in the world. So if you're the youngest workforce in the world, your avenues are much more, because you will be the talent powerhouse of the world. It's simple, you're in numbers. So make hay while the sun shines. And I have nothing more to tell you, and I wish you a great innings with KCC, and I just hope that you are the part of the big India story as this country rises in the comity of nations and this world. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.